Breaking news. Things are heating up behind the scenes for the Baltimore Ravens, and head coach John Harbaugh is finalizing the final details for the matchup against the Buccaneers. Speaking of which, we have something very important to talk about regarding John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson that we simply cannot ignore. Before we go any further, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Ravens will beat the Bucs? If so, hit the like button. Dude, seriously, I totally believe in it. Our team is more than prepared to kick their ass. If possible, write it like this: the Ravens will win. Let's go. First, our own head coach Harbaugh was criticized on ESPN by none other than Mad Dog. Now, if you haven't heard, Mad Dog went on the record saying that Harbaugh isn't even a top 10 coach right now. Now, I know many of you are probably shaking your heads just like I was when I heard that. With 164 career wins and a Super Bowl under his belt, Harbaugh is a legend. He's 19th in wins among all coaches in NFL history, and we're still going strong this season. But Mad Dog's speech got me thinking, where do we really rank Harbaugh? Has he lost a step, or is this just media hype? Let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm curious to know if you guys are feeling the heat or if you still see him as the best. Now, switching gears to Lamar Jackson, who has always been the center of attention, former Washington tight end Logan Paulson recently compared him to some legendary quarterbacks. That's high praise, but honestly, it's nothing we don't already know, right? Paulson pointed out that Lamar's ability to read defenses and make adjustments at the line has been a game changer for the Ravens. He's been doing it for years, but what's really cool is how he's been given more freedom in Todd Monken's offense this season. Remember, under Greg Roman, Lamar didn't have the same level of control, and now we're seeing the full package of his skills. We've all seen Lamar grow, not just as a runner or passer, but as a complete quarterback. This guy's football IQ is through the roof, and the way he's orchestrated the offense is nothing short of incredible. Whether it's calling audibles, switching plays from running to passing, or just making quick decisions, Lamar is on another level. And hey, that's a big reason why we're on a 4-game winning streak. Zay Flowers is finding his groove, and our running game is the best in the league. I mean, we're dominating teams on the ground, and Lamar is orchestrating it like a maestro. But here's where things get tricky. The secondary has been a bit of a concern. We have talent back there with Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton, but they've let some big-name receivers make plays. Terry McLaurin, Jamar Chase, and even Davante Adams have all had strong performances against us this season. While we've done a great job limiting CD Lamb, the secondary still has some holes to fix if we're going to make a deep run. Can we fix this? That's the big question for this Bucs game, because we know they have weapons like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Those guys are not easy to stop. On defense, we've been crushing the run, and Travis Jones has been a force up front. Our run defense has been brilliant, only allowing about 3 yards per carry, but will be tested again this week. The Buccaneers, with Baker Mayfield under center, just had an explosion in their running game, and they'll want to continue that momentum. Rachaad White could play, and if he does, we need to make sure he doesn't start. The key to this game may very well be stopping Tampa's running game early and making them one-dimensional. If we can do that, we have a real chance to extend this winning streak to 5. And look, speaking of Baker Mayfield, I know some people are starting to whisper that he's in the MVP conversation. But let's be real. If we're talking about MVPs, Lamar should be in that conversation too. He's been phenomenal, and if we take care of business against the Bucs, that narrative could start to gain traction. Lamar versus Baker? I think we know who wins that battle, but we'll see what happens on the field. This game is huge, no doubt. Monday night in the spotlight against a team that wants to prove they're still a contender. But we have the momentum, we have the talent, and if our defense can shore up the secondary, we could be looking at one of the best Ravens teams we've seen in years. So what do you think, Ravens flock? Is John Harbaugh still a top 10 coach in your eyes, or do you think Mad Dog has a point? What about Lamar? Are we looking at another MVP season for him? Let me know what you think below. It's going to be an exciting game, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. It's trade season in the NFL, and we're here to break down what's been happening and what it means for Baltimore. The big news? Davante Adams has been traded to the New York Jets, and Amari Cooper is headed to Buffalo. Both of these wide receiver stars were names the Ravens had been linked to at some point. But now that they're off the board, it's time to look at new options. The Ravens are on a 4-game winning streak, sitting comfortably at 4-2. So there's no desperation here. But with trade rumors heating up, could they still be in the market for a wide receiver? Let's dive in.
First off, let's talk about what the Ravens already have. Lamar Jackson has been spreading the ball around like a magician this season, and Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, and our tight ends have been playing their roles well. We've seen some incredible performances from Zay, who's been setting records left and right, including a 9-catch, 132-yard game, the most receptions in a half for a Ravens rookie. Add in our veteran presence with guys like Nelson Agholor, and you've got a pretty solid receiving core. But could they use a bit more firepower? Absolutely. DeAndre Hopkins is a name that keeps popping up in conversations. Tennessee's season isn't going anywhere fast, and they could be looking to move him. Would he fit in Baltimore's run-first offense? That's the big question. Lamar has been throwing the ball more this season, and adding a veteran like Hopkins could elevate the passing game even further. Imagine Lamar, Hopkins, Flowers, and Bateman on the field together. Sounds pretty dangerous, right? Now, some of you might be thinking, do we really need another wide receiver? That's a fair question. Nelson Agholor has been solid, but he's more of a role player than a game changer. Would Hopkins or someone like Courtland Sutton be a major upgrade? Probably. Sutton, currently with the Denver Broncos, is another name floating around. He could likely be had for a mid-round pick, and while he's not the same caliber as Hopkins, he could still bring some value to the Ravens' offense. But what about the cost? That's always the tricky part in these trade talks. Hopkins wouldn't be too expensive salary-wise this year, and Sutton's deal could be worked out, but the Ravens would likely need to give up a 4th or 5th round pick to make something happen. Is that worth it? Well, it depends on how aggressive the front office wants to be in chasing a Super Bowl this season. Lamar Jackson has been playing at an MVP level, and with Derrick Henry leading the rushing attack, Baltimore is already a formidable force. Do you mess with the chemistry of the current team, or add another weapon to increase your odds of winning it all? It's a tough call. The Ravens don't need to make a desperation move, but adding a player like Hopkins could be a statement of intent. This could be the move that puts the Ravens over the top. So what's your take, Flock? Should the Ravens go all in and make a move for DeAndre Hopkins or Courtland Sutton? Or are you confident that Lamar and the current crew can get the job done as is? Let me know in the comments below. We've seen some big trades already, and there's no telling what could happen before the deadline. One thing's for sure. The Ravens are in a great spot right now, and the front office will do what's best for this team. If we stand pat, it's because we believe in the squad. If we make a move, it's because we're pushing all our chips to the center of the table. All right, Ravens fans, that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment with your thoughts on the potential trade moves. Do you want to see Hopkins in purple, or are you more interested in someone like Sutton, or do you think we should roll with what we've got? Let's get the conversation going down below. As always, keep it locked here for your daily Ravens coverage, and I'll see you in the next video.